against Spenu and IM, so NaJin has a lot more to prove tonight.
Absolutely. Well, here we go into picks and bans for game number 1 between NaJin and Samsung, Nidalee and Kalista, the first couple bans. Eve really kind of the biggest jungle Nidalee threat out there at the moment. I would say even a little bit more so than Ambition.
And the Rek'Sai, you have to take that away. Samsung will flex that pick. And Kuve's really good at applying split push pressure out of the top lane on that champion. Even though we have seen other top laners fooling around with it in solo queue, it's only been Samsung that, here in Korea at least, that really likes that pick.
Yeah.
And Samsung, we see some Sivir bans against them a lot of the time because they are a team that really relies on pick compositions overall. Well, that's going to give Duke Rise. I don't know about this one.
I mean, Watch's Gragas has been his best jungle champion, but still in this meta on red side, I feel like you need to get rid of the Rise. They may live to regret that, or not live to regret that.
Especially for Duke.
Yeah.
This guy has a history of absolutely dominating on Rise in the top lane. If we think back to IEM Katowice from last year when he was known as Leopard on the KT Bullets, he ran through that tournament playing top lane Rise, and everyone was very impressed who hadn't seen this player before, and now he's back on that champion. Sivir, of course, that Samsung staple picked up alongside the Victor. And Crown as a player has really shown so much versatility in his champion pool. Is he the flashiest best mid laner? No, he's had a few good games. He did kill EasyHoon 3 times in lane playing as Fizz against Cassiopeia, but he does his job, and he doesn't need to be a big carry on this team when Fury's there. If he could play a diverse range of champions up to a pretty good standard, then it's up to Fury to actually make the big plays, and that's fine.
Wow, if they lock in Evelynn Annie, this is like Operation Rise Will Destroy You from NaJin right now. All that CC, all that slow. Oh boy. The Rise is looking more dangerous by the second.
NaJin, of course, that big Evelynn team as well.
Yeah, Watch has always played quite a bit of it. I wonder.
Or, I mean, Annie team. Sorry, yeah, Watch has played a lot of it, but the Annie team with Kayn and Pure both really playing a lot more Annie than most other teams during the last season of competition.
So have to wait for the days for Watch to bring back Nocturne. Might happen eventually. Who knows? Samsung.
Well, Doa, if you watched, if you want to see some Nocturne, you could go and watch the LPL where and, or like EU LCS. Do you like top lane Nocturne? Well, Unicorns of Love have the game for you, sir.
Well, maybe I'll have to check that out then. Well, will it be Lee Sin for Eve? Probably. He has fantastic mechanics on that champion, and you'd have to think that Samsung would have some sort of plan in mind if they're going to give up that Rise. They know it's going to get picked. This isn't like a surprise to them or something. So what is the plan that they've got to handle this?
Now, the Coup Tigers did do a good job of shutting Sunday's Rise down the other day, but as a reminder, it did take a 2-0-2 Rumble with an 8-minute Abyssal Scepter to not die to Sunday's Rise, and he was nearly 1v1 anyway. He had like 100 HP left and didn't even kill the Rise, but managed to get out. So this champion is super broken right now, and OQ will take the Lucian.
Oh,
and the Zed for Goong. All right.
Yeah, coming back again. Goong, of course, a longtime Zed player, probably one of the best we've seen.
Now, what will this Zed do after the Deathmark nerf, where he can't just R back to his shadow immediately? And
wait a second and then are back to his shadow.
Well, that's what he's got to do.
You know, the thing is by playing a champion like Zed, it makes Samsung have to think about using some of those abilities like Dragon's Rage on somebody other than Rise, right? And so I still feel like this is about the Rise, right? It's just a distraction to let Duke do his thing without interference.
Well, you also just have that factor when you consider that this Victor is just going to be a sitting duck for this Zed.
That's true. Yep.
In the mid lane.
Kuve has played a lot of Requiem.
Requiem.
Hecarim. It's true. Kuve hasn't exactly been wrecking.
He's had some good games. I'm intrigued about this Hecarim because he's going to have a really hard time without any movement abilities dealing with the constant W's of Rise. Maybe he's hoping he will be able to E out of that situation. We'll see how this matchup goes for him, but the Rise gets through, and it goes to Duke. Duke is the most lane-dominant top laner we have in this league, and to give him probably the most lane-dominant champion right now, seems like a bit of a mistake.
Well, NaJin has been able to get two very good solo lane matchups in Goong on Zed versus Zed Victor and Duke on Rise versus Kube's Hecarim. So,
not to mention the Lucian versus the Sivir, too.
Yeah, so
Samsung's got a lane swap here, pretty much.
They've kind of got their work cut out for them any way you slice it.
I'm curious.
That's not a Zed pun.
I'm curious about this Victor, though, because you may be able to make some counterplays with like a gravity field because you have time to lay down the gravity field on top of his shadow after he ults. So there's more counterplay to the Zed ultimate now, and I think that Crown may be able to deal with it.
Well, they're going to have to if they want to win this game, and Samsung has done a very good job of winning games against the best teams in our league right now, but can they get an actual match victory? NaJin is probably going to be their best chance to do that in a little while, so we'll see if they can start it off with a win here in Game 1. Let's get in the game and find out. Welcome to Summoner's Rift, NaJin Empire versus Samsung Galaxy. Here in our second best of 3 of the night.
Samsung fans always out in force.
Oh, yeah.
They stuck with their team after literally every player left.
Yep. Which is good. Not that everybody left, but that they stuck with the team. Because in sports, you stick with the team, not the players, right? If you're following the player around, things get so confusing. Stick with the team.
Zadoa's advice for being a sports fan.
That's
well,
right.
Invade here. Kuve. Flash stun.
Flash stun. Kuve could be in a little bit of trouble. He's got no flash. And that is first blood going to Goong. Oh, man. Crown sees that and he's like, uh-oh. Oh, no.
Well, Kuve sees that and he's like, uh-oh.
He's like, I'm Kuve.
Duke now with that assist as well. So standing in that brush, not really respecting the ability of NaJin to come through there. Now that'll be a ward down, and they get a deep ward in also.
One factor to this is that they will have a very immobile, very vulnerable Annie in lane. So if they get the 2v2, perhaps Fury and Wraith can make a play on this. Annie's very fragile, so this could lead to a kill for them.
Also, they have Lee Sin, so they're going to be set up for early kills anyway.
Yeah, so Pure could end up paying for this, but I think getting that first blood onto Zed, giving everybody else on your team an assist is easily worth the death that he might have to endure later on because of it, because of the lack of summoners. Yeah, so Goong, he just goes to the lane with a Doran Shield and a longsword. Oh, good luck, Crown.
Nice ward, though. You see Watch starting off here at the Krugs with his buddy OQ. Duke is going to join him right now, and we do have the lane swap coming in as expected. Samsung going to be up in that top side, so it's all up to Eve to see what he can do now. And as much as the rest of Samsung, I feel, has really grown as a team, Eve is the one player right now that I sort of have questions about.
I mean, he had such good games on Lee Sin, again, mechanically last season. But aside from that, his map movements are sometimes kind of suspect. There's another ward from Pure. He's not really bothered by his lack of summoners.
Yeah, well, it's just that, while everyone else has grown, I feel like Eve just hasn't developed in the same way that a lot of the other players have. I haven't seen a notable uptick in terms of his skill, and we haven't even really seen a lot of the same mechanically amazing plays that he used to make. And part of that's the Cinderhulk meta, but he has been playing that nimbly again. And we'll see what he does on this Lee Sin. I hope he goes Warrior, because I hate Cinderhulk Lee Sin.
Yeah, we'll see. Couple wards going down around that blue buff. Nobody's been able to get it quite yet.
Yeah, Wraith just looking for an advantage right now. Kuve and Eve trying to 3-buff, actually. So
or are they going to dive this? They might. This might be a
3-man dive this.
It's a 4-man dive, though. Can you do that? We'll see if they can. Duke getting exhausted right away. There's a flash, gets out. A kill comes in. It's going to go to Eve. Wow, Eve managed to pick up the kill on Duke.
Wow, that was insanely close.
I can't believe Wraith got out of that.
Right there.
Yeah.
Eve still going, forced to flash himself, and now Pure the only one under the turret, so NaJin not really responding to this all that well. TP coming back in. Can Duke make a play right here?
Maybe.
There's
Watch.
Oh,
Watch comes in from behind, and they catch Kuve with the Rune Prison. Watch very low, but Duke wants to get another one. Goong picks up his second kill of the game. Wraith makes it out, but that's pretty much what we were expecting from this one. Yeah.
Really sloppy tower dives. Yeah, I mean,
kills.
Samsung wanted to make a play there, but it was a 4 versus 3 tower dive. That is not a high probability play. As we take a look at this one, Duke going to get exhausted and stunned immediately. Yes, they have a lot of CC, and they finish off Duke. Remember that Duke still has TP. Watch here under the tower as well. And eventually, Duke's just going to be able to come back up. Pure hits level 2. Watch tries to make a break for it. Has to flash out. As Eve comes in with the Flash Sonic Wave, Pure will die, but this takes so much time that actually Duke just comes back to life, resurrects, has time to TP, Watch wraps around, and they pick up another couple of kills off that. So really just a wash for Samsung in the end.
Yeah, more or less.
Except the problem is that you fed Zed and Rise more kills.
Yeah. Well, you fed Duke a couple assists, but Goong with 2 kills now.
Well, he's still going to be perfectly happy with that situation. Yes, they had the Ignite for Samsung, and they had that crowd control from the Nautilus, but at the same time, it's a big risk.
Oh. Watch just chasing Eve out of the river there. And
Surprise
wow.
W.
No kidding, yeah. He did not see that coming, apparently. I would think he would.
Well, I'm sad we didn't have 2v2 lanes. That would have been exciting. They're looking for Crown right now. Goong, how close is he to actually hitting level 6? I don't really know.
Yeah. Might be a little while yet.
Doesn't seem like a gank that's going to work. They don't have any hard CC here between Eve and Zed. That's not
I think they're
terribly great synergy. You definitely want to try and gank the top lane if you're watching this situation, because you have that Rune Prison in. You'll be able just to consistently keep up with the hate spikes even as this Hecarim is running away.
Yeah, so no level 6 for Goong just yet. Meanwhile, down in the bot lane, we do have that 2v2 now.
It's going to be one of those games where Goong gets like 12 kills on Zed. I think it is. Goong just goes off sometimes.
Certainly could be. Well, 2 kills in 6 minutes already isn't that bad, is it?
No, and this Hecarim just has to walk up in order to CS this wave, and Duke's at the danger point now where he can start just chaining these W's together.
It's a bit ridiculous.
Really risky. He's getting so close to being able to put together those big Rune Prison combos. Up. Oh,
Watch coming in from behind.
This is where Watch wants to gank.
Yeah, I would say so. Kuve, when's Duke going to come up? There we go. And Duke just couldn't quite get in range for the Rune Prison, I guess.
Kuve just playing very cautiously in this matchup, popping the E as soon as he sees the Evelynn. So he's just staying out of that W range. And Duke walking up, he's got the stacks on, and now they're going to fall away. So Duke just has to be careful and play around the Rise stacks. Meanwhile,
they're going to find even the Raptor Pit. Goong goes in. That's Deathmark down onto Eve. Is he going to be able to survive? Nope. Goodbye. And Goong with another kill. Yep.
Great Zed mechanics following up on the movement there by Lee Sin. Lee Sin is going Warrior Enchant, so I am pleased. But they did also help him to die right there.
Less tanky, but maybe you need that tankiness against a 3-kill Zed now.
Well, I think the real lesson here, Doa, is don't give a Zed 3 kills before 8 minutes.
I think that's a great lesson to learn, Monty.
I don't think that the build is a problem. Sometimes, Doa, you can build just fine, but when your teammates are feeding the Zed, there's just nothing you can do.
Yep. It's true. I'm just wondering when Faker's going to play the mid Fiora. You know? Oh, God. It's coming. It's coming, I bet.
Well, he'd have to play that against something like an Ezreal or a Jace.
Hey, against Coco, you never know. Oh, Crown's going to go ahead and grab his blue buff. Watch is right there with the ward over the wall. They're going to try to just zone or kind of just keep Crown from coming back to lane, I guess.
Yeah, they're making him choose between farming right here and actually protecting his pink ward, and that farm more important, so that's the decision they're going to make. Pure and Watch there to collapse on the ward immediately.
Yeah, meanwhile, OQ able to poke a little bit into that bottom lane. Pure and Watch coming down. I wonder if we're going to see a bit of a dive here. No level 6 yet for Pure, though. I think they should be just content, you know, to have OQ just poke down the turret for the moment.
Yeah, he's winning the lane matchup already. He's 30 CS in the lead thanks to having the advantage in this matchup and the early shenanigans that went down. So why not just have OQ play aggressively right now? Watch is covering him. And here comes the Zed dive.
Yep. Goong maneuvering down to bot lane. Fury in a lot of trouble. They're not even going to wait for the Zed. There's the stun coming in from Pure. Fury taking a lot of damage. OQ slowed a bit by the Nautilus, but Wraith has to dredge line his way out of that one. An easy, easy dive for NaJin there.
That's right. Watch picking up the kill as well, but a little bit of an early spell shield there from Fury, actually. He kind of spell shielded the Lucian and then got hit by a stun right afterwards, so didn't have much of a chance to do anything to counteract that gank, and this is just looking like NaJin going to absolutely steamroll Samsung at this point.
Yeah, it's already looking a little bit difficult as they take the dragon for Samsung to come back, but you never know. Maybe they'll get that fight, but I don't know.
Eve trying to do something right here just by taking away the blue buff, and that'll really help out Kuve, because I have a feeling they were going to give the blue buff to the Ryze, considering they're running the Zed in the mid lane. And naturally, under those circumstances, having lower CDR on the Ryze early would be very tragic for Kuve. Kuve going for the early Merc Treads, though. That's a smart build against the Ryze Max W. You have more of that speed for Hecarim, and then also that tenacity really going to help out. So Kuve, you know, he's died a couple times, but that wasn't because this Ryze solo killed him. So he's playing well, all things considered. But the big problem with Ryze right now is that you used to be able...
Oh, Fury getting low, and he goes down. Cold. Well, yep, things are a bit off the rails for Samsung.
Really far ahead in terms of items. Has a BF sword compared to the pickaxe. Fury.
He's nearly doubling Fury's CS right now, by the way.
OQ's pretty good.
Yeah, he is. Pierre's been there to set up a lot of kills. He's got he's been part of 5 out of the 6 of them, and they're on the run already. Oh, wow, right at the ult for Evelynn. Eve chases, Watch gets exhausted, takes a lot of damage. They're going to try to turn this around. Here comes a teleport from Kuve, and no CC to stop this Hecarim from coming in, but there is some damage. Uh-oh, zoning from Crown. OQ turns around. There's a teleport coming in as well, too. Crown in a little bit of trouble. Make that a lot as OQ gets the kill. And yeah, NaJin just way too far ahead already.
Well, they did a great job of setting up the zone. Duke following up with a TP of his own. Even though Crown prevented people from really getting up the ramp right there, OQ had the freedom just to move up and auto-attack him around the other side because Samsung wasn't controlling the tri-brush. So NaJin just out-skirmishing their opponent and increasing that lead even further. It started out as a rough situation. And what I was going to say about Ryze is, of course, Ryze still has that late game strength that he always did. The problem with Ryze is that there's currently no downside to Ryze. Yeah. Basically, the fact that this Hecarim has to play so defensively against a Ryze, and any champion has to play so defensively against a Ryze, means that he just doesn't have a meaningful power trough that can be exploited. So you either have to camp him, and even then he's probably still going to get strong, or you just let everyone else just run amok on the map, really.
And look at this. The bottom turret goes down. The middle turret is going to go down very, very soon as well, too. And so NaJin just pretty much wrecking Samsung right now. Yeah, that middle turret's not going to last too much longer.
Kuve trying to go for a phage at this point as well. Adding just a little bit of move speed so he can get in and get out on his CSing, I think, before that Ryze has a chance to respond. Yeah, it shouldn't take 2 people to deal with 1 champion in an even situation, but even in a winning situation, and Ryze in a losing situation, it still takes 2 people to deal with him.
Well, Kuve, a couple people coming to deal with him here in the top lane. Watch sneaking his way up, and Duke pops his ultimate, actually. I think he thought Watch was going to go in, but
no, just wave clearing right now. He wants to let Fury, or OQ rather, push this lane up and actually continue this snowball. Goong, in the meantime, has done a number on Crown's Victor, who's at least stayed even in CS in spite of this absolutely horrible situation he was put in.
Yeah.
That first blood for Goong, and OQ going to quickly eliminate this turret. Actually going for the Berserker Greaves just for the extra turret damage here. Nice build for fast pushing.
Yeah,
instead of working more to finish the Infinity Edge.
NaJin knows they've got enough of an edge that Samsung can't really stop them from pushing too much, so might as well do something that helps you snowball that advantage, right?
Well, here comes Samsung, but that'll be Duke backing off the turret by a long shot, and they're going to lose a tier 2 for this. They're they tried to make a play onto the Rise, and now they lose 2 turrets.
That can't feel good. So already a 5K gold lead at about 14:30. Yep. Kill though, or turret kill anyway, comes in for Samsung. They're able to respond with the bottom turret, but still, it's a bit low.
Duke just playing safe though.
Yep.
Might as well. He's behind in CS, but he hasn't been in lane to get a lot of that, having to wait till it comes back. And he's also been giving a lot of his CS over to OQ, and he's doing it again. You notice that Duke right here waited for that wave to come back to his tier 2, immediately recalled, and is now heading into the top side. So Duke very confident that he's going to be able to get where he needs to go in this game no matter what, even if it does mean that OQ is going to snag a bunch of that early CS, because if OQ is powerful now, if he and Zed are powerful in the mid game, then it's fine. Rise will take over naturally in the late game.
Yep.
So get them onto a big power spike right now, and either you win now or they carry you to a point where this Rise is absolutely massive.
Samsung trying to come into NaJin's jungle right now. That seems like a bit of a dangerous prospect as Watch comes from behind. They may have them kind of trapped here.
Pierce here.
Yeah, I don't think NaJin's really in any trouble.
No, NaJin's playing this really smart. They're avoiding the conflict. They know that the big plan from Samsung is to shut down Rise, and they're not letting him have it. They just keep trading a tier 2 for a tier 1 every single time. OQ here. So great trading from Samsung without giving up any kills onto the Rise, and there's a tier 1 in mid lane. NaJin just doing wonderful work in terms of map pressure.
Yeah. And Duke's still farming away, getting more and more powerful. Forgetting that he can check bushes with his new skill shot Q. I'll give it a try.
These wolves are mine.
Yep. It's Electric. NaJin going for the dragon as well. That's their second.
Not? They had mid and bot pushed up.
Yep.
Very, very good map play from NaJin. You know, I don't remember the last time we saw this good of shot calling from NaJin around these objectives. This is a very good way to snowball this game and make sure that their power curve will stay even if the worst thing happens. They're still at that 5K gold lead, but they're playing conservatively but intelligently while continuing to take every edge.
Yeah. Well, NaJin knows what their win conditions are, and they're doing a good job of adapting to the fact that they can make it happen even faster this time around. Look at this, already a 5K gold lead at 17 minutes. Wow. Goong may not actually have time to go off here. He's just gonna stick around this area. You know, maybe like one more team fight, and then it's game 2.
Well, Goong's score in terms of KDA may be determined by OQ's OQing.
That's true. That's true. If OQ gets cocky, this is the moment. This is the time for NaJin where OQ starts to do rather unintelligent things. We'll put it that way.
Going a little bit too all in.
Yeah.
Dashing into the enemy team. Duke going to grab the blue buff right here if he can. Eve wants it. Eve not going to go in there, I guess. Scared of Goong.
All right. Well, that's understandable, I suppose. Scared of Duke too, perhaps. Well, Kuve's trying his best to get some farm done, get some sort of split pushing done, but he's not really been able to make it to the tier 2 turret yet. And speaking of tier 2, there goes one now. 5 turrets to 2. Yep. And this is pretty methodical by NaJin. Not exactly the bloodbath that we were hoping for, but it's impressive.
No. Noah, what I hope for is that NaJin is going to level out in terms of consistency so that we actually see them playing up to their potential.
Yeah.
That's what I hope for. You may want the bloodbath, Noah, but
I do.
I just want a stable team.
Well, that sounds boring. So I'm hoping for the bloodbath. NaJin, though, I mean, they've been like, they haven't just been unstable, though. NaJin has been frustratingly unstable until recently. Last season, you know, all those roster switches, all the OQ moments. Yeah. Are they going to find Fury? Oh, he also tried to get away, but the death mark comes down to him anyway. Can he do enough damage? Yep. I think so.
Q.
Q. Can he dodge it? No, he can't dodge it. And Goon gets a kill. Wow.
The mind games.
He tried.
Even though the death mark was spell shielded right there, Goon
Yeah.
is so far ahead. And you can see him taking up that turret. And Fury was trying to not use his heal right there also. If Fury had used his heal just a split second earlier, he might have been able to dodge that with the speed. Got a little bit greedy. But also, who knew that Goon was just going to stand in turret and try and do that?
Yep. Well, Goon knew. He's 4-0-1 now. Had that blade for a while. Has Hexdrinker, has the Brutalizer. We'll see what he buys when he goes back. Could probably finish another core item. We'll see. He's going back now. Yep, there's the Youmu's.
Uses it to get out of base.
Hey, it's a short cooldown. Why not?
It is a very short cooldown.
Yep.
He sees that he has a long lane, too. He's like, well, nothing's going to hurt me for the next minute.
Yep, pretty much. He's got a ways to go before he gets back to the action. And Crown, unfortunately, just has not been able to get anything going on this Victor. He's gotten some items, though. I mean, he's died once, but he's been able to exceed the CS of Goong. Goong, of course, doing better overall because of all those kills, but Crown's the only one on Samsung right now that I feel like is really sort of hanging with NaJin a little bit.
He was also put in such a poor situation as well. He's had to build his Zhonya's Hourglass first on Victor. This is really not where you want to be on this champion. He doesn't really have any CD or that much CDR yet either. So his ability to just put out that damage in team fights is going to be very, very limited.
Yeah.
Even if he can survive a death mark, which was his #1 goal. But he was handed a pretty unfavorable situation in this game.
Well, you know what, Monty? Sometimes you just have to suck it up. You just have to say, Victor is awesome. I just watched Faker play Victor. I'm going to play like that.
Well, Faker didn't have to play against a First Blood set.
He's doing what he can. Culling doing what it can as well, as NaJin tries to set up for this next dragon.
Total control.
Oh, yeah.
So many pink wards on the map. NaJin's warding is definitely excellent in this game. They've got vision over the objectives they need. They're just swallowing up the enemy jungle.
Oh, Duke getting kicked back in there. Unalted. Crown gets a kill, so managed to catch Rise. There we go. It happened.
Problem is, he'll be back up and he has TP for the Dragon. So not really that big of a deal. The best thing they can hope to accomplish right now, Samsung, is take out some of the wards on the bottom side, get up some of their own just in order to contest the possibility of this Dragon. I mean, Duke there playing with fire. He didn't need those Raptors.
Yeah. I don't know, though, if Samsung can even get into position to get any wards down, you know? They're trying, but already too many wards for NaJin. They're going to see whenever Samsung tries to come up and get some vision.
It's like Duke wants to... Oh, he's just going to head. Oh, actually, he is going top. There's a large wave developing up there, so he may want to go catch that, but it's far enough out. He's actually just like wavering back and forth between going through the Dragon and going top right now. I mean, he decides to go top.
He's still got the teleport, and it looks like there's going to be no opposition at all for this Dragon. Yeah, NaJin just untouched as they take their third Dragon to the game. So now they've got that move speed. Now it's going to be even harder to outrun Duke.
You know, Duke hasn't done a whole lot. It's mostly been the Goong and OQ show this game.
Yeah, but
he
the
will.
Anticipation is building, Monty.
He will do a lot. Let's see. Goes for the Gromp.
Yep. Look out, Gromp. It's like I'm going to miss CS because of this. Oh, a lot, because I'm leaving lane.
Now he's going to get the blue buff.
All right.
Duke slowly getting where he wants to go, and oh wow, they see so many people on the bottom side, and Zed is split pushing. They may just do this Baron, actually.
Maybe. It looks like Duke wants to try to take out this wave first. Yeah, I don't think they're going to do the Baron just yet. They might have been able to sneak it.
They might have, actually, right there. Even without that Zed, of course, the Zed important, but NaJin in a position where if they see that many people on the bottom side, with Rise and Lucian, you may be able to pull that off anyway.
Yeah. Well, another blue buff gets handed over to Duke this time. And the terror continues.
That tier should be close to fully stacked at the moment, actually. It was delayed a little bit because he's been not getting that empty lane farm, handing it off to OQ instead. And OQ has surpassed 100 CS over Fury this game.
That is not something you see very often this early in the game with ADCs.
Yeah, especially between those two AD carries. That is
right. Well, it just shows how much of an edge NaJin has. You know, when Samsung's star player Fury is that far behind the other.
Well, there were a lot of weird early game circumstances in this game, including that like crazy massive dive in the top lane, and there were a lot of problems that caused the snowball to occur. But NaJin has been able to answer and just turn the screws to increase Samsung's misery.
Yeah. Well, Cuvée trying his best to split push a little bit anyway in bot lane, but I don't think he's going to get a lot out of it.
Well, he's going to see Watch at the very least as he takes the blue buff. NaJin just playing really quite passively right here, not trying to dive with this amazing advantage that they have currently. There are a lot of squishy targets on Samsung that are quite diveable right now.
Oh, hello. Flash timbers onto Wraith. Wraith, you've made a bad decision. He had just enough time to use his ult, too. Way to go. Oh, Culling comes in. They want to take this tier 2. OQ not doing a ton of damage with it, but at least pushes people back.
Goong on the hunt right now. No one has that red buff inside the Samsung jungle. Looks like OQ may get it eventually, or Watch.
We'll see. Oh, Eve saying, did you? Yeah, you took my red buff. Oh, well. Tibbers gold.
It's a lot of gold.
It's not bad. He's basically like a jungle camp almost. Well, at this point, Crown has pretty good wave clear. Sivir has pretty good wave clear. NaJin is going to have a bit of a struggle pushing things deep into the enemy base. But
I feel like Duke is just prolonging this game farming because he wants to show what he can do at the end of it.
Could be.
He's got 2 items right now, 2-3 items where this Rise is going to start to actually make a big difference. And Duke's just waiting for that moment where he says, hold my beer, and then goes into the enemy team and kills them all.
Oh, Fury could be a little bit of trouble. Uses that spell shield. Goon gets out, gets exhausted. Yeah, it's hard to blow up a Sivir with Zed, isn't it?
Well, yeah. If Wraith wasn't there, he may have been able to pull it off. But
you just don't get the damage from Deathmark, though, and it's such a big part of the combo that
it is, but he's also massively fed.
Yeah, that's true.
So he has so many items that it does open up opportunities that he may not have otherwise. In the meantime, it will be Baron o'clock here for NaJin.
Yep, pretty much. And no wards, no vision, nothing like that for Samsung, so NaJin should be able to grab it pretty easily.
Everybody recalling. Zed now going in with his blade. Yep, this is done for NaJin.
Oh, yeah. Yep, they are 8,000 gold ahead at 26 minutes. And with that Baron buff, now the time has begun to try to start closing things out.
Yep, just going to push right to the tier 2, not even bothering to recall after that. Duke starting to press his advantage as well. He's nearly caught back up in CS now to Cuvée, so that long time farming in the empty lane, closing the gap just a little bit. And now Goong back with a pickaxe as well, getting close to that last whisper, and quite scary as it is.
Yeah, he's already doing a lot more damage than you would normally expect a Zed to do at this point in the game.
Still pretty bad siege for NaJin.
Yep.
But they have those Baron-empowered minions and such a tremendous edge that no problem taking down the turret.
Yep, pretty much. You ever think Zed runs with his arms up behind him because that if he ran, just like swinging his arms like a regular person runs, they would get caught in the ground and he would just like fly onto his face?
I thought he was just doing it so he would avoid cutting his legs with his hand claws.
I guess, but if you kind of hold your arms behind you, you can still like cut your legs if you're not careful.
Well, not if you hold them far enough away from your legs. See,
I guess.
Maybe he's just pretending he's an airplane.
Maybe. We need an airplane skin Zed where he has his hands in that position the entire time and just goes, you know, like the Corky skin. Wouldn't that be great, Monte Cristo? That would be awesome.
Red Baron Zed.
We always love that, yeah. Well, Dragon number 4 for NaJin, and they will get it extremely easily. This game has not turned into the exciting action-packed bloodbath that we were kind of expecting. It was very early on, but then NaJin just got a massive lead.
Well, that's what happens against a good team. If you give them that kind of advantage early in the game, League of Legends, if you play it out right, turns into a victory. The snowball was very real this game. And NaJin played around. What Samsung was trying to do, too, wasn't bad. They kept trying to make plays on the rise, but Duke played really conservatively, and that just allowed his team to continue to punish the fact that Samsung repeatedly sent 3 or 4 people at this rise, and then they just traded tier 1s for tier 2s and just crushed them with a massive, massive gold lead in the end. So really Duke here. He may be 0-2-2, but he's done what his team needed him to do, and he understood that he was going to get powerful anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. So it was just a matter of waiting and playing it safe. Oh, here we go. Speaking of playing it safe, NaJin deciding maybe those days are done. They have that Baron Siege anyway. Well, I guess not going to engage.
Well, NaJin does have a really horrible siege.
Yes, they do.
Really bad. So this may take a little while to close this game out, especially with a Sivir Victor wave clear.
Well, they're kind of going to have to dive, aren't they, if they want to move into the base and not just wait for a fight to come to them. And I suppose with the item advantage they have right now, if you're going to dive, now's the time to do it.
Well, they don't have the Baron buff any longer. That will complicate things a little bit for them. They may just go for the 5 dragons at the end of the day and be ultra conservative in the way they close it out.
Yeah, that'll give him a nice little buff, nice little boost to finish things off. But for now, Samsung imprisoned within their own base.
Stuck forever farming.
That's right.
Within the confines of their walls.
Poor Samsung.
Well, at least they're not dead yet.
Yeah,
it is better to be besieged than dead.
Depends,
as medieval scholars used to say.
Depends on the length of the siege, that's what I say. Depends on how many diseased cattle they fling over your walls, right?
How many pieces of shoe leather you have to eat to stay alive.
Yep, that's right. When the rats run out. That's another one.
Was When the Rats Run Out one of your bands from high school?
That was the name of our album, actually. Yeah, that's an album name, Monte Cristo. Close, close. Yep, it's good. I bought a new guitar this week. Been playing it a lot. Been fun.
What have you been playing on it?
I've been learning, or relearning rather, a lot of stuff. Some Led Zeppelin.
Ooh.
Mostly. Yep.
When are you going to have your recital?
You don't have guitar recitals. Unless it's classical guitar, but this is not. Guitar recitals? Jeez. I don't know.
So you're not having a recital? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm not. What do you play, the clarinet or something? No offense to clarinet players out there.
Those insulting classical instruments right
recitals. Now. Clarinet players have recitals. Guitar players have concerts.
When's your concert?
When I find a band.
You can't play Led Zeppelin on your own?
Well, you can, but it just sounds better with other instruments and singers.
What I've tried to say is I just want to hear you play Led Zeppelin. When's that going to happen?
Yeah, sure. When I finish learning it. Oh, look out. It's Nautilus. They're going after them. The great Duke Chase. He exhausted. He's ulted. He's down.
And now how much are they going to lose for it is the question.
Probably 2 inhibitors. Or at least 1. Or at least a couple inhibitor turrets.
Well, that was definitely not worth.
Yep. Well, no ults left. Goong's like, do I need... Yeah, okay, sure.
Duke. He's like, haha, I was the bait.
That's right.
I love Duke's face right there. Baiting successful.
When everyone converges to try to gank Rise, you call that maneuver a Blue Man Group.
Is that what you call it?
That's right.
Well, Blue Man Group isn't as entertaining as it might be in real life.
That's right.
It's actually kind of sad.
Have you ever been to one of their recitals, Monte Cristo?
I have been to a Blue Man Group recital.
Oh, really? Was it good?
It was
a lot of parents taping it with their video cameras, you know?
I mean, that part's definitely true.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. I hear they put on lovely recitals. I particularly enjoyed the Imagine Dragons recital after the the World's Finals last year.
That was a good one too.
It was delightful. Well, Baron getting taken out. Duke is once again being bait. I suppose it's easy to be bait when you're the only person visible on the map to your opponents. Oh, there's a Baron buff. Huh. Oh, OQ pops the Youmu's. He's just going to go in there with the culling, I guess.
Not doing much damage.
No, it's all about sending a message, Monte Cristo.
Get the hell off this inhibitor so we can win the game.
Pretty much. Sending a message and some magic bullets. And there goes the inhibitor. Yep. That was most, oh, goodbye, Wraith. And Eve comes in, he kicks, watch to safety. Nope, not quite to safety. Gets a kill there, but overall things going pretty well for NaJin. Actually, it is 2v2. Baron buffs fading left and right, but now Goong starting to do damage. OQ relatively untouched over the wall. Double for Goong. There's the ace. They only lose Watch and Pure, and that is going to be the end of game one. About as nonchalant as you can get it as far as ending a game goes.
Well, I hope that we see less early game mistakes in the next one so we get a closer match.
I hope we see less not kills. GG. NaJin takes game one, and Samsung a bit flustered in picks and bans, and NaJin crushes him, basically.
That Rise pick, well, it may not have been spectacular this game, but it did draw so much attention from Samsung, and at the very least, that's what this Rise can do on 5.10, is make a big difference. Actually, Crown did a lot of damage on Victor that game. He did more damage than anyone else to champion, so he played pretty well, actually, considering the circumstances of his laning phase.
He tried. I mean, he did the best he could. But that was an awkward game. That was weird. We'll see what happens to Samsung here in game number 2. Lately, they have not been terribly good at winning game 2s.
Well, they won their last 2 game 2s, but...
Didn't they? Oh, did they?
I
thought it was game 1, but I guess not.
Yeah, 2-0, so they've been